Hey everyone, welcome back. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. So right now, Social Security has a massive problem on their hands, and if nothing is done about it, then all beneficiaries are going to receive a massive cut coming up very soon. Plus, this week ahead, Republicans continue to fight against each other, and it looks like we might possibly have yet another House Speaker removed from his role. We'll be giving an update on that as well. But before we go ahead and dive into the main content of today's video, if you wouldn't mind helping me out real quickly by just giving this video a like, that just helps out with the good old YouTube algorithm, and also consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already. Plus, if you would like to receive up to $200 in free stocks or $200 in free cash, in a pinned comment below, I will be leaving a link to Robinhood. All you have to do is once you click on that link is just sign up for a free account and then link your bank account. You don't even have to make a deposit. At that point, Robinhood will be sending you one free stock worth all the way up to $200. And if you really just have the cash, all you have to do is once you receive the free stock is just sell it for its worth and then transfer the cash value right back to your bank account. Okay, so diving right into our lead story of today's video, and of course, this week, Republicans continue to once again just fight against each other, and it looks like they're going to try to remove one of their own. Once again, another House Speaker. Not long ago, of course, Kevin McCarthy was removed from his role, with some Republicans joining pretty much all the Democrats to remove the former House Speaker and Kevin McCarthy from his role. And now it looks like they're going to try to remove Mike Johnson. Well, at least Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to try to do so. Whether or not she's going to have enough votes, we will just have to wait and see. So according to The Hill, the long simmering feud between Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene and Speaker Mike Johnson is set to boil over this week when the Georgia Republican moves to force a vote on the GOP leader's ouster, which is all but certain to fail. Greene, who filed a motion to vacate against Johnson in March, is vowing to force a vote on her removal resolution this week, a long time coming for the GOP rabble-rouser who has dangled the ouster mechanism over the Speaker's head while sharply criticizing his legislative decisions at every turn. Her gambit, however, is poised to fall flat. A large number of conservative Republicans have said they plan to oppose her effort. Only two are supporting it, and the top three House Democrats said they will vote to table Greene's ouster effort. The Georgia Republican, nonetheless, is vowing to plow ahead. She wrote on X, formerly known as Twitter, on Friday that Mike Johnson must resign or be removed. And this week we vote on whether Mike Johnson should remain as Speaker. Massey wrote on X on Sunday, who's also a Republican representative. He said, if you're happy with what he's done this year, and if you're looking forward to what he will do the remainder of the year, you should join the Democrat leader Hakeem Jeffries in supporting Mike Johnson, #Uniparty. So basically, right now we have three Republicans who are for sure going to vote to remove Mike Johnson from his House Speaker role. Then we have the majority of Republicans who are going to vote to keep Mike Johnson in his role. Pretty much the same Republicans who also voted to keep Kevin McCarthy in his role. What's different this time, however, versus last time, is that this time around we have the House Minority Leader and the leader of the Democratic Party, Hakeem Jeffries, who's in the same role as what Nancy Pelosi previously was. He is saying, he's telling all his Democrats that he's leading that, hey, we need to vote to keep Mike Johnson in charge of the House. Even though he's a Republican, we would much rather have him keep his role. That way we don't have all this chaos taking place where we have to elect yet another House Speaker. And at the very least, Mike Johnson worked with us in that most recent bill where we helped get the funding for Ukraine. So it's sort of an exchange for passing that bill. Mike Johnson has gained support from the Democrats and the Democratic leaders to keep him in his role as a House Speaker. We will have to wait and see whether or not they keep their word on that. Will Hakeem Jeffries decide to change his mind later down the road and vote to ouster him from the role? Or will he vote in support of the Republican House Speaker? We will have to wait and see. But right now, it looks like as of today, Mike Johnson is going to be safe, even though Marjorie Taylor Greene and two other Republicans want to remove him from his House Speaker role. Now, moving into our lead story, our main story of today's video, and that is Social Security. And right now, Social Security has a massive problem on their hands. Why is that? That's because in just about 8 to 10 years, if nothing is done to save the program, if they don't have like a legislative change Right now, we are on path to have massive cuts to the program. That's because there are not going to be enough workers in the workforce paying into the system, paying the Social Security Trust Fund tax, the FICA tax, and there's going to be too many people receiving Social Security benefits where there's not going to be enough money coming into the trust fund to pay out 100% of the benefits. And because of that, in order to pay everyone benefits at least, everyone is going to have to take a cut across the board by anywhere between 20 to 26%. So they will have to come up with a few different solutions. So we're going to be examining this article here by the Motley Fool, and we're going to be going over a few different things that they were talking about doing right now in DC, and something needs to be done within the next 5 to 7 years to make sure these massive cuts do not take place. So according to the Motley Fool, Social Security has a big financial problem. Here's what lawmakers might do about it. So they say that if you're someone who's worried that Social Security won't be around to pay you benefits during retirement, you're not alone. Many people fear that the program's financial woes will affect their future finances for the worse. So let's start with the good news, which is that Social Security is not in danger of going away completely. The program gets the bulk of its funding from payroll tax revenue. So as long as there's an active labor force, Social Security can continue to pay benefits to some degree. But in the coming years, Social Security is expected to collect less payroll tax revenue as baby boomers exit the workforce in droves. And while the program does have cash reserves in the form of trust funds, those are expected to run dry in about a decade's time. From there, benefit cuts could be on the table. So basically, we do have a few different options to help save the program. Once again, if nothing is done, there are going to be cuts across the board by anywhere between 20 to 25%. So the first option that is being talked about right now is to raise the full retirement age from 67 up to 68, 69, or possibly even 70. So they say that one option lawmakers are considering to avoid cuts to Social Security is pushing back the full retirement age, which is the age at which recipients are entitled to their complete monthly Social Security benefit based on lifetime earnings. Currently, FRA sits at 67 for anyone born in 1960 or later. Pushing that age back to 68 or 69 could help the program from a solvency standpoint. And then, of course, there's another option out there on the table where they would raise the threshold in which you have to pay the FICA tax, the 6.2 to 12.4%. Currently, this year, it is at $168,600. You just pay the FICA tax on the first $168,600 that you earn. However, they are considering making it so people earning above $250,000 or even $400,000 per year have to once again start paying the FICA tax. So they go on to say that another thing that lawmakers can do is make changes to the way wages are taxed for Social Security purposes. Currently, there's a cap in place, and earnings above $168,600 are not taxed to fund Social Security. If lawmakers were to raise or eliminate that cap, the program could enjoy a serious cash infusion. That said, lawmakers would also have to balance an absent or lifted wage cap with the fact that Social Security in its current form has a maximum monthly benefit it's willing to pay. And then, of course, the final option, one other thing that they were also considering is raising the amount of FICA taxes you have to pay in. So like I mentioned just a moment ago, the FICA tax is 12.4% for Social Security, 6.2% for the employee, and then your boss, your employer, matches the other 6.2%. Or if you're self-employed, then you have to pay the entire 12.4%. So we're talking about perhaps raising that up to like 14, possibly even 15%. So they go on to say that finally, rather than make changes to the wage cap, lawmakers might instead change the rate of taxes applied to wages to fund Social Security. Right now, salaried workers pay 6.2% of their wages into Social Security, while their employers match that same amount. Self-employed individuals pay 12.4% into the program. Raising that total to, say, 16.4% could do the program a lot of good, though it might make workers less happy in the near term. So basically, you'd be making it so workers would be collecting even less of their paycheck, more of that going into the trust fund, so obviously that would upset them quite a bit. But leave your thoughts and comments below. How do you think that we should best save the Social Security Trust Fund and make it solvent for a longer period of time? Leave your thoughts and comments below. Would definitely love to read them. But that's all we have for today's video. I certainly hope you enjoyed and found value out of it. If you did, again, I would greatly appreciate if you could give this video a like. Consider subscribing to my channel if you have not already, and I will see you in the next video.